Should I use an ISA, pension, or both for my retirement savings? Hi, I'm Jasmine from Redwood Financial. We're a family-owned and run chartered financial planning and estate planning firm based in Hampshire, and we've been helping clients in this area for over 20 years. Now, the debate around ISA, pension, or both is a really interesting one. And to be honest, again, there's not a particularly wrong answer. I would say actually the most important thing is that we are saving for our retirement. As a society, we have a huge problem coming down the line with the fact that most of us are not putting enough provision aside for our retirement, and we are not saving enough for our futures. So to be honest, any savings vehicle is preferable to no savings whatsoever. But when it comes down to what's better for me, it's going to be dependent on your personal circumstances, but it's also about understanding the difference between ISAs and pensions and also the commonality. So first of all, let's talk about what ISAs and pensions have in common. ISAs and pensions inside the fund, they both grow free of income tax and free of capital gains tax. And so that's hugely tax efficient and hugely beneficial that all that growth, all those gains are going to be free of tax inside the fund. That's pretty much where the commonality between ISAs and pensions ends, however, because then after that, they are worlds apart. Coming to ISAs first, and I'm talking about stocks and shares ISAs here, so properly invested ISAs that are providing us long-term investment growth, which is where our retirement funds should be invested. So when it comes to stocks and shares ISAs, we've got a £20,000 annual allowance versus a pension, which has got typically a £60,000 annual allowance, depending on your circumstances. So we can get less into ISAs, than we can get into pensions. But with ISAs, we've got complete flexibility. We can access our ISA funds whenever we need. So we're in control of when we decide to retire and when we decide to access our funds. We can also access them sooner if something unexpected comes up and we perhaps need to get our hands on the money for perhaps a private medical operation or a really important issue that's come up within the family. So ISAs have got maximum flexibility. When it comes to taking the money out of the ISA, the other benefit is that not only has the ISA grown free of tax, but also it's paid out free of tax as well. So it's a really tax efficient way to generate tax-free income in retirement. With the pension side of things, we have a bigger allowance of what we can put into our pensions, which is great. And we also have tax relief going in. So the idea is you put in money that you've already paid tax on, but you get an instant uplift of tax relief going back into the pension. So that's really beneficial because you see that tax relief and that boost inside your pension fund. And so a lot of employers obviously opt into those pension schemes, and you as an employee will opt into your workplace pension scheme. And essentially to not do that would be like turning down free money from your employer. So of course we're going to be building up money inside the pension. The downside with pensions, though, compared to ISAs, is that we do have rules around when we can access our pension. So at the moment, the age is 55, that's increasing to 58, and potentially future legislation will push that even further down the line. So we have to be mindful that if we're young, anything we put into pensions right now is going to be locked up for our retirement. Not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just something we need to be mindful of. And when it comes to taking the money out of the pension, we get 25% tax-free cash, and the remaining 75% is then taxable for income tax at our highest marginal rate. So the answer is, to be honest, if we can afford to be maximising both or funding both as much as possible, we should absolutely look to do that. But in terms of overall what's more beneficial, it's also going to depend on how much you're earning right now, your income tax status, whether you're employed, self-employed, all of those other things as part of a bigger picture are going to help make sure that you get the right advice. But as I said, either or, pensions and ISAs are great savings vehicles for our retirement future, and making sure we're saving something is possibly more important than the difference between pensions and ISAs. If you do have any more questions though, please contact us and have a complimentary call back with one of our advisors who will be happy to answer any questions on your bespoke needs and what's best for you. And there's also lots more information on our website that you can check out, including our investments and retirement webinar as well, which gives you lots of free advice and information around these areas.